Hello my dear students, welcome back to one more video. In today's class we are going to study the next topic of chapter chemical bonding, and in this chapter we studied many concepts. All the videos of those concepts are given in my playlist. You can go and you can see that all previous concepts. So in today's class we are going to start with the new concept, and that one is bond parameters. So first of all we should know that we studied about covalent bond, Lewis dot structures for the covalent bond. So in covalent bond there is whenever we are studying any kind of bond, we should know some parameters, some factors which are affect actually the bond. And what are those parameters? Those parameters are bond length, bond enthalpy, bond angle and bond order. So we are going to study one by one all the parameters of covalent bond. Not only covalent bond, for any other bond also we can utilize it, and then the same parameters we can use it to express many properties. So let's start with the first parameter, and that first parameter is bond length. Now let's see that what do you mean by bond length. What is bond length? Bond length, it means average equilibrium distance between two bonded atom. What does it means? It means that if we are having two atoms which are bonded together, we have two atoms which are bonded together, maybe the covalent bond. So in that bonded atom, the distance which we are taking, what we said, average equilibrium distance between two bonded atom. So the distance, average distance between these two, is known as bond length. The average distance between these two is known as bond length. It can be possible. See, it can be, if it is a covalent bond, in covalent bond, as we know that here it will be a covalent radius, half of the distance it means covalent radius. Okay, so when consider that this is the covalent radius A and this is covalent radius B. So how can we calculate the bond length? Bond length is covalent distance or covalent radius of both we can calculate, and that's why we are saying that what is bond length? Bond length is actually the average equilibrium distance between two bonded atoms, as we have explained it through the small figures. Okay, now let's see that how many factors are there which can affect the bond length. The first factor which we have discussed here is size of atom. Now let's see that size of atom, how it will affect on bond length. How it will affect on bond length. Now if the size of atom, as I said here that size of atom is directly proportional to bond length. Directly proportional to bond length, it means, consider that if the atom size is more, then bond length will also be more. If atom size is small, then they have the small bond length. So a size of atom matters, and this is the reason that when we are moving from top to bottom, in the periodic table, what we are saying that? We are saying that the size of atom increases. If the size of atom increases, definitely bond length will also increases. Okay, now let's see the next concept. Next one is multiplicity of bond. Multiplicity of bond means what? Multiplicity of bond, it means more than one bond. If double or triple bonds are present, multiplicity, it means more than one bonds, or I will say that double or a triple bond. When there is a double or triple bond present, then what we are saying that number of bonds is inversely proportional to bond length. It means if I am having a single bond, if I am having a double bond, and if I am having a triple bond. So if someone will ask me that out of these three, which one will have highest bond length, which one will have the highest bond length? So simply I'll say it with single bond, because single bond, as the number of bond, only one bond is there, and then bond length is related to that. So more number of bond length, more number of bonds, shorter the bond length. Are you getting my point? More number of bond, shorter the bond length. Now let's study about hybridization. Hybridization, as we know that we need to discuss here as sp, sp2 and sp3 hybridization. Okay, so earlier also we have discussed, but still one more time let's discuss this. sp, sp2 and sp3 hybridization means what? S character. Here is how much S character? S character is 50%. S character is 50%. Here how much is the S character? S character is 33.3% and here is S character 25%. So when we are studying, so it is actually related to the X character, and we know that the shape of S is spherical and shape of S is spherical. So we will say that S character, the quantity, it is inversely proportional to the bond length. More the S character, shorter will be the bond length. More the S character, shorter will be the bond length. More the less the S character, more will be the bond length. So in this way we can calculate that if the molecule is having sp hybridization or sp2 hybridization or sp3 hybridization, easily we can say that who will have the more bond length and who will not. So student, I hope you understood all the three factors and you need to keep in mind all the three factors together for bond length, because in inorganic chemistry whenever we are utilizing it to explain the property of some of the groups or some of the elements, at that time we are going to use it. So I hope everyone understood. Now let's start with second property, and that one is bond length. Okay. Second concept is bond enthalpy. Now let's see that how does this bond enthalpy related, or what do you mean by bond enthalpy? First one is what we are saying, that bond enthalpy means what? It is the amount of energy required to break, amount of energy required to break 1 mole of bonds of a particular type between the atoms in a gaseous state. So students, simply here we will study that whenever we know when two bonds combine together, they release some energy. At the same time, when we are breaking down any bond, at that time some energy is required. So for making of bond as well as for breaking of bond, we require the same energy. Okay, and that energy, if 1 mole of bond we are breaking down and the amount of energy required, it is known as bond enthalpy. Okay, and here we have studied that it is in the gaseous state. Why we are using this word as a gaseous one? Gaseous, it means gaseous atoms don't have any force of interactions between them. Okay, and that's why bond enthalpy. For example, if I'll say that if two gaseous hydrogen atom I am taking, two gaseous hydrogen atom, when they'll combine together to make up hydrogen, they required bond enthalpy. The bond enthalpy which they required, the bond enthalpy would be 434 kilojoule per mole. Again, in a detailed manner we are going to study in chapter thermodynamics as well. So bond enthalpy means what? How much quantity of energy required to dissociate, to break that bond. Okay, so student, here bond enthalpy specifically, now consider that if I am taking an example of H2O. Now in H2O you can observe that this is having two way, like one is attached with the bond between OH, and here is the bond, another bond also between OH. So whenever we are studying about polyatomic ions, polyatomic molecules, so the bond enthalpy which is required for each bond would be different. Each bond would be different. And why we are saying that this bond enthalpy would be different? Because the amount of energy to break that bond, that can be a different, maybe the force of repulsion between the electrons, maybe the force of attraction between the electrons, and that's why they form polyatomic molecules. Polyatomic molecules will say that bond enthalpy would be different. Now let's see that how it is affecting on the multiplicity of bond. So here specifically we will study bond enthalpy with multiplicity of bonds. how it will affect the bond enthalpy. For example, if I am having single bond, double bond and triple bond, so which one would be easy for us to break? So here we'll see that multiplicity bond, as soon as the bond length increases, get my point, that is number of bond. What we are saying, that if bond length increases, it means bond length is actually inversely proportional to bond enthalpy. Bond length is inversely proportional to bond enthalpy. It means more the bond length, lesser will be the bond enthalpy. And as we know that in multiplicity of bond, or we'll say that more the number of bonds, then it is directly proportional to bond enthalpy. More energy would required, more the number, so it would be very difficult for us to break the triple bond. And this is the reason that atmospheric nitrogen, many times we studied, atmospheric nitrogen is very difficult to, or we are saying that atmospheric nitrogen is inert in nature. Why it is inert in nature? Because atmospheric nitrogen is present as N2, N triple bond N, and triple bond, so it means if it is a triple bond, so number of bonds are more, so bond enthalpy will also be less. So to break that nitrogen we require lots of energy. Students, here one more concept you can keep in mind whenever you are studying about bond enthalpy and bond length. What is that? If I will give you a long stick and I'll ask you to break that, and it would be easy for you to break the stick. Yes, because it is a long, easily you can just twist it, bend it, and it will get break. But if I'll give a very small piece of, small piece of that stick, it would be difficult for us to break. And similarly, the same concept will apply in bond length. More the bond length, easy to break. Shorter the bond length, difficult to break. And when it is difficult to break, more energy is required. Okay students, I hope you understood the concept. I hope everyone understood this concept, and they will be keeping in mind the trick of stick. Longer the stick, easily it can break, it means less energy will require. Smaller the stick, it means more energy, and that's why we are saying that bond length is inversely proportional to bond enthalpy. So student, I hope you understood the second point as well. Now let's move to the third point. So let's start with the third point. And what is the third point? Third point is bond angle. Now let's understand that. What do you mean by bond angle? Bond angle means what? Bond angle, it means it is the average angle between the two lines, representing the orbitals containing bonding electrons. So student, how to decide the shape of those molecules that we are going to study in the coming lectures with the help of certain theories. Okay, so this is known as bond angle. This is known as bond angle because these are the two lines from which we have taken the distance and calculated. As we know that this is the CH4 methane molecule, and the shape of methane molecule is tetrahedral. So other molecules, those are having the tetrahedral shape, they should have the bond angle of 109.5 degree. Okay, so similarly we can take an example of ammonia molecule also. In the ammonia molecules, they are having a pyramidal shape. So when the molecule are having the pyramidal shape, they should have 107 degree bond angle. And students, bond angle is actually for certain compounds we need to memorize it. Similarly, for water also we can calculate the bond angle, and bond angle for water would be 104.5 degree. So these bond angles are actually calculated by knowing the angle, average angle, and by knowing their shape. Okay, so bond angles, whenever see bond angle factor, as we have studied about multiplicity and all, actually bond angle would depend upon the number of bonding pairs and number of lone pairs. What happens whenever, if there are more number of lone pairs, so that bond angle will do effect on that. How it will do effect? If the more number of lone pairs, so those lone pairs will do repulsion between them, and as soon as they'll do repulsion, their bond angle will be much closer and bond angle decreases. So we will say that bond angle is actually, or the bond angle, sometimes it may depend upon the number of lone pairs present on that molecule. For example, here one lone pair is present, and in this situation two lone pairs are present. So easily we can, and in the first situation no lone pairs are there. So in first situation bond angle is 109.5 degree, because here no lone pairs, but as soon as lone pair comes here, that bond angle is decreases. It means between the lone pairs and bond pairs there are certain repulsion. And then the third, when we will discuss, and that one again bond angle decreases due to presence of two lone pairs. How these are correlated with another, that we are going to study in Whisper theory. Okay, now let's come to the last point, and that one is bond order. Now according to Lewis concept, here I have mentioned specifically the according to the Lewis concept, because bond order one more time we are going to study in the molecular orbital theory. So there we are going to study little bit different concept that we'll be studying there only. So here what do you mean by bond order? Bond order, it means actually the number of bonds present between the two atoms. Number of bonds present between the two atoms of a molecule. For example, here if I'll take an example, so I can take an example of N2 molecule. In N2 molecule, it is having 3 double bond, so bond order would be 3. Okay, if oxygen molecule, if I'll take that, two bonds are there, so bond order would be 2. If fluorine, if I'll take, only 1 bond is there, and hence bond order would be 1. So bond order, what is bond order? The number of bonds present, or number of bonds between two atoms of a molecule, is known as bond order. And very important point I noted down in this cloud one, that you need to memorize in a competitive exam, even in MCQ objective based questions, they are asking always this question. And what is that? Isoelectronic molecule. I hope everybody knows isoelectronic. Isoelectronic, it means same number of electrons. So when there are same number of electrons, so all the isoelectronic molecules or ions have identical bond order. For example, if I am having, here I am taking an example, consider that here I am having Na positive whose number of electrons are 10. Then after that I'll take neon. So neon, number of electrons are 10. Then if I'll take Mg2 positive, number of electrons are 10. If I will take another example, that is O2 negative, number of electrons are 10. So all of them will have the identical bond order. So this concept, very basic concept and very important concept, that isoelectronic molecules or ions have the identical bond order. So students, I hope you understood each and every topic of today's class and noted down all the points in your copy. Whenever if you feel any doubt, if you think that you are not understanding that, please just pause the video, note down each and everything, and then start watching again to understand the next concept. So today in class we studied bond length, bond enthalpy, bond angle and bond order. And I hope so everyone understood that well. So thank you students and have a good day ahead.